It's September 1995, and we're at the DeFrancesco farm on Auger Road in Northford. This market gardening operation is now in its fourth generation, and we are standing in a field of basil and flowers. One of the many products that's produced by the family for sale either in their retail operation or at markets all over the area. We will also see some of the tomatoes, the pumpkins, and the other fall crops. Right now we're overlooking the squash field at the DeFrancesco farm, and they're busy picking the late squash. In the background you can see the remains of the early corn. The stalks are now dry. This time of year there's a big rush to get everything picked and ready for market and out of here before a frost or something causes damage. It is truly the fall season. Joe DeFrancesco, the father. And there in the background in the
I've been here for a while. I was born in the South.
Background is his son Joe, very diligently washing at the sink. Behind the cash register is Ray DeFrancesco. She is the elder Joe's wife and has been a spark plug in this operation since she was a girl.
I didn't live up there. I'm a city girl. I was a city girl. I married Joe. He's a farmer. I never did this type of work, but since I married him, I fell into it and worked very hard.
Well, of course you did.
Yeah.
Of course you did. Yeah. It takes a partnership to make something like this work.
This is a cut flower business that we do here at DeFrancesco's farm, and started 13 years ago when my oldest son was 8. He wanted to start a business and do it, so we started it with a few rows of zinnias, and it's progressed up till now. We have 2 acres of cut flowers that we wholesale every day all summer long, and we retail them here at the stand. He's away at college right now at Radcliffe Hicks at UConn, studying agriculture, and all summer long him and his other 3 brothers, they do it every day. They go out there 5:30 in the morning, they cut flowers, they haul them all in by the wagon load, and we stand here for hours on end doing this. The whole crew here. We have, my mother-in-law and my mother and father and boys to help out, and we have workers that help out, so we keep busy. Basically, this is how they look.
Linda, why don't you introduce the people here? Tell us, now this is Linda, this is Joe's Junior's wife.
Okay. First is my mother-in-law, Barbara. Hi. Then my mother-in-law, Ray. And then Salvin's in the background.
Hi.
And then over here is my father. And basically what we do, everybody has their own artistic guide. They put it together. I give them a count of how many stems of each go in so that we use the most of what we have in the flower patch. And what they do is they use their own judgment. They all take the flowers and they mix the colors, what they think is nice. Every bouquet is different. It comes out pretty. And they're all nice looking. You might-
How it started.
Son of a gun. Okay, remember, if anybody asks me for a favor, I'll have to think about it next time.
You want to put this one on there too? or
No, because the sun is out. I didn't want it to get soft. We'll put our little shield up. After the sun goes away, then we'll take it to the display.
All right, we're in the kitchen of the DeFrancesco house on Auger Road. This is the original farmhouse. Oh, it's been changed, like all of us change over the years a little bit. But this is where this market farm first started. And seated at the table are Joe and his wife, Ray. And Joe grew up on this farm. You want to tell us what it was like when you were a boy here first?
Well, when we first started here, it was like a one-horse farm, that's all it was. And my father started very small, and as he kept going, he kept growing. My older brothers were getting, I'd give him a little hand and stuff like that. And as we went along, we just keep going. We were 6 brothers.
6?
Yeah.
Wow.
So as they got older, they went off the farm and left us only 3. Me and my 2 younger brothers. Then the day we stayed, after my father died.
Oh, how old were you when your father died? About?
40. And then what do you call, the day went off, and I remained, I took over on my own. That was about 1950, 59. And I stayed ever since.
I'm getting used to being a farmer's wife, the work.
All right, what was it like when you first lived out here on the farm?
Well, it was hard work, you know what I mean? And trying to get used to doing farm work, was hard.
Okay, now you're talking about used to doing farm work. Explain just what a wife had to do. His mother probably had to do it, and you
Yeah,
had
I
to
did what
do
his
it.
mother did.
Which was what, Joe?
Well, take care of the house first, and then in the
There in
farm.
the fields.
And back in the fields. My mother had done that for years, when we were kids.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
She did it.
And I bought the kids in the fields. I put them under the tree while I was working in the playpen.
Yeah, yeah.
While Joe and I worked in the fields.
Oh, that was family teamwork.
That was
And
family, yeah.
Yeah.
And we made it.
We were side by side.
Side by side, worked very hard.
Oh, good. And that's probably one reason you made the 50 years is that you were a team.
Right.
How have you seen the farming change from when your father and when you did it when your mother to now?
See, as we kept going along, see the equipment, we bought a lot of modern equipment, that helped out a lot. See, that pushed us ahead a lot. Because see, back in them days, we didn't have, it was all handwork.
Uh-huh.
As we kept going, we kept buying the equipment to help us, loosen up the work. And that's how we've been buying Ever since, we keep buying them here, we keep getting something new. Even like now, we keep improving all the time.
All right, so then when you were a boy and a young man, it was mostly
Horses, yeah.
horses, and the
Yeah.
rest was all hand labor.
Horse, because my father believed in tractors.
Oh,
Because it had to be horses. We got our first tractor about 1938 or 39. Got the first tractor there. And well, that was his speed, he couldn't see it. He had to have a horse.
all right.
My father and I, when we came here, used to plant all small crops, in other words, there was a lot of labor.
All right, for example.
Beans, peas, it's like strawberries, you plant 20,000 plants of strawberries.
Wow.
And he used to plant all that kind of stuff. But see, there was a lot of labor to it. But get through the end of the year, there wasn't too much made on it. So then as I grew along, my brother wasn't here. I kind of was headed after my brother went to the Army. And I told him one day, so we wasn't operating the way we were supposed to. So he told me, he says, the way I did it, he said, I told the rest, I want you to try it. Let me see you do better. And I did. I took over since 1943. I started to climb up. I started getting more machinery and stuff like that. And I succeeded pretty good. After that my father left the lines right to me. In other words, he told me to plant what I wanted and do like I wanted. Ever since then, I've been running this farm on my own.
All right.
A lot of potatoes.
All right, what did you change? What crops did you grow that your father didn't?
I changed, like I planted 4 tons of potato seeds.
Wow.
I planted that, and we went into corn, bigger crop, like more tomatoes, like more squash and stuff like that. I went faster picking stuff. And we was me and my two younger brothers at the time on the farm, yeah. And we succeeded pretty good. And ever since then, my father's backed out. He knew I showed him I could do better. And I've been doing that ever since. And of course, as he grew along, he went to college. When he got through,
Now we're talking about the next one.
that's it. So I told him, I says, what are you going to do? He says, I told you before, I want to be on the farm and I want to stay on the farm. And then that's how we all kept going.
All right, so your father turned it over to you, and then
Yeah.
someday you're going to say the same thing.
I did it already.
Already?
I did it
Already turned it over.
All right, so there've been a lot of changes then?
Oh, there's been plenty of changes from where this started and now.
And you did mention one thing, that a lot of the reason that your father grew so many crops that were so labor intensive is that the whole family, the children
Well,
and...
yes, we all worked, when brothers and sisters, we all worked together. We all back in the days, there wasn't much, you didn't make much, but that's the kind of living everybody had, not just my father, but everybody. Because you go back in your father's days, it was the same thing.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he had 4 sisters, wasn't it?
How many sisters?
Four.
Yeah, 4 sisters,
And six brothers.
and there were 6 boys?
Yeah, 10 of us.
10.
Mhm.
Well, I suppose that's a pretty good start for a crew out in the fields.
Yeah, don't worry, we had to get out. We used to get up mornings early, we had to get up before 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
My father used to plant a bunch of scallions. That was another thing he used to plant. And get out there with the spade forks and dig them all up, get them all in the old shed over there, and then we had to clean up and go to school. Come back from school, right in there cleaning some scallions. But them days we had no electric here, we had just the lanterns
And the ice box with the ice in it.
back in them days. But that's how he did it.
And you know, that is a rotten job, cleaning scallions.
Oh, boy, the ice out there.
Oh, we had a roadside stand for a while, and that was my job.
Scallions.
Yes, the big wash tub and peeling. Oh, I can smell it now.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't have been. But you're right, you got up and you worked before you went to school.
Oh,
You
sure.
went to school.
We
But
all
you
chipped in.
knew
We had to
you... Oh, see.
We had to chip in. We all had to get up in the morning and help out. Sure.
But you knew you were important.
Where'd you go to school?
I started at William Douglas School,
Yeah.
1925, when they made the new school.
Oh,
See, when they made that new school,
yeah.
I went there, the town didn't have enough money to put the floors for the first and second grade, and buy the furniture. So we went in the community house. You remember the community
Well,
house?
sure, I met my husband there, go ahead.
Yeah, so we went there, and they had a big stove there, probably about that size of, and the town was to bring the cordwood up there. I'll never get the teacher, Mrs. Smith, she'd get that wood and keep throwing it in there. That was a big hall. She couldn't heat it up enough. So we all had to go, stayed home. And we had Erna Kine down here. That was George Halt's niece. She's to bring us the homework, like Helen Pollock, it was all the ones in the same grade. Leave us the homework and come pick it up, bring it back to the teacher. She moved into William Douglas School. So we all stayed back. My mom was going to help us. The whole class all stayed back.
That's right, most of you, your parents weren't
No,
educated in
that's
this
right, they
country.
weren't, no.
They weren't,
Yeah.
English was a second
No,
language.
no English.
When I went to school up here, William Douglas School afterwards, I remember my sister used to call one of us, people come to school who couldn't speak English, the kids, you know.
Yeah.
See, not just Italians, but even other nationalities. And they used to call somebody that understood it, interpret it like, and just help out the teacher.
Well, that was a different time.
Yeah, well, back in them days, it was really rough. Even the school that day, the buses and all, we had an old Model T4 truck,
Yeah.
with a canvas, covered canvas over the top. And we, so get in there and go to school. In other words, he go to the Haven Market at that time. There used to be Sergeant Market, they used to call it. He used to go to horse and wagon. See, the horse was the main thing in the whole farm here.
Yeah.
See, the horse used to work at the farm, and the horse had to go to the market, everything else. And then as they cruised along, they kept coming. I think back in it was told to me back in 1920, 21 or 22, they bought an old filter truck, I think. My
Yeah.
oldest brother started driving that, and he started going to market with that. He started going with it. And then as they went along, they bought a 1924 Model T4 truck. That's what they all had, with the 1-ton trucks, everybody had them.
Yeah.
And that's it, they used to go to market with that. As eventually, as time grew by, we got bigger and bigger, got better trucks and stuff like that. And then we got bigger on the farm too. And then I used to get up, go to market about past 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Now, that's something you might tell us about, what the market was like in New Haven, because that's...
Well, what the market was like in Haven, it was like, when I used to go to market, I'd say it was sometimes about 200 farmers in there. That time, it was all farmers. This whole valley was all farmers, if you remember.
Yeah.
And we used to get down early in the morning to catch the out-of-town buyers, like the Bridgeport, Danbury, all them guys come early in the morning. That's what we used to go early in the morning to catch them. See, they used to buy it a little bigger in quantity.
Yeah.
But them days there, the prices were cheap. You couldn't. There wasn't much money to be made. But I used to go. See, my father never drove. He always we would go with him. And one morning coming home, it was back in the 30s, to about 35 and 36. Coming home, my father was happy he could be. We're coming down to Middletown Avenue. I said, "What you so happy about?" He said, "We made $28 this morning." Now, $28, you can even send a truck down empty, that kind of money. But we used to buy fertilizer for $19 a ton. We used to buy empty packets for a dime. See, everything was a different, see, it was sell cheap, but we used to buy cheap. But now, we used to buy 11 gallons of gas for $1. I remember going to the stations and getting that. But today's just vice reverse.
Yeah.
Everything's, it's like an empty package, you gotta pay over $1.
That much.
Sure. Back in them days, it was, see, you were sold cheap, but everything was cheap. Even like labor on a farm here. They used to beg my father during the pressure. People, they had no money. Them days you got laid off, you couldn't go collecting nothing.
Yeah.
So they used to come over here, my father really didn't need him, he used to feel sorry for some of them. They used to come up here, they used to work for $1 a day, and the grub, they sit down, work, they used to eat so much, he says, "Tomorrow, what do we eat tomorrow?" And then my father, if they were going to work, he'd give them some vegetables to bring home, plus their $1. and they were all happy. They was good workers though. This is my
Farming.
son Joseph, and he took over.
Okay. I grew up on the farm from a young child. We weren't born. I wasn't born here. We were born in North Branford. That's where my parents lived, going when I was a child. Then we moved on Village Street for a while, and that's where they lived for probably 10 years. And then in 1959 or 61, my grandmother needed one of the brothers or somebody to help out and move in with her because she needed help to take care of her, and my father was asked to move in with her at that time in 1961.
So where'd you live in North Branford then?
Twin Lakes Road
Twin Lake
Oh,
for approximately
3-4 years.
3-4 years. And so I grew up on the farm as a young boy, and at that time there we used to work along with the family, and we worked in the fields, myself and my sister Phyllis, and we did a lot of different things along with my mother and father, picking vegetables and packing vegetables and different things as a child. As I grew up, I felt that this was the type of life that I wanted to do, so I wanted to do farming. But when I graduated from high school, I did also go to college and went for 4 years and have a BS in accounting, which probably was a plus to the business because it helps you with your different aspects of the business, how your salesmanship and how you're doing different things, and different changes that came on at that time. I think at that time when we graduated in 1972, we expanded our business, went quite a bit into more greenhouse operation, tending the farm, both with the farm doing vegetables and greenhouses together as one, so we can keep it going more of a 10-month period instead of just a 6-month period. And it seems as though at that time it developed in more of a profitable business. Basically in 1972 when he graduated from college, we probably had at that time probably 6 to 10 greenhouses, I assume. And then basically we've increased by the years. As time went on, we kept increasing 1 or 2 at a time. Now, at present day, we're up to close to 25 greenhouses, and that's probably half of our business today is bedding plants, hanging baskets, New Guinean patience, all kinds of potted herbs, and different things. So we've expanded our markets into different aspects of the business to cope with the times. It made it probably more profitable and gave us more things for our help to do to keep it versatile business. In the farming, I was mentioning, the last 15 years we've probably close to doubled from 45, right now we're up to about 85 acres of land. We're probably producing, this time, more peppers, probably between 10 to 15 acres of peppers. Find that's one of the most profitable marketable items that we have at this time. Probably second is tomatoes, and from there you go into more or less squashes and cucumbers, vine crops, and then right down the line. And we go into corn and eggplants, and we raise probably a very wide selection of vegetables just to keep the market open for ourselves, so we have a variety of crops for the open market.
Now you adjusted again this
All right,
year.
that is all interesting, but you know one thing you haven't done, Joe? You haven't introduced the charming lady sitting next to you.
Okay, all right. Okay, and as I was going to college, 1968, I started college, 69, and then basically after 2 years, I met a young lady in college at Quinnipiac College. Went to Quinnipiac College. Her name is Linda, and at that time we've met each other. We've gone out for like a couple of years, and then after the 3rd year, we've gotten married. And we both were in accounting programs, so we're both business majors in accounting, and I felt that basically helped out our business tremendously because we worked together in our accounting aspects. We did most of our deciding on what to do with the business, how things went at that time when we graduated, and did a lot of different things together at that time. And Linda can say a few words too.
Okay, over the, I'd say over the past few years, we further adjusted his planting crops and stuff because we've had the now retail market. We've opened up a retail stand right here on Route 22. So a lot of the crops that we would need for supplying people of the town and that come through with the stand is more demand on corn and things like that. So we've readjusted what we planted again. Plus, we do have 4 boys, so they all help out and work in it. The oldest is at UConn in the agriculture program, and he'll be coming back working with his dad on the farm. He kind of wants to get a little more handle on all the new modern updated information that, you know, maybe Dad didn't learn about when Dad went to school, so he's hoping to use that. And he's also taken and readjusted some of his ideas in the greenhouses with the watering system on the hanging baskets and things like that. So what he wants to do for change, he's been doing that in between already, and we all kind of help out. We have our
And all the other
15-year-old
boys.
Darren, and he's been basically the last 2 years he runs the stand under 22. He puts his decisions of what he wants to do for well, with his 21-year-old brother, the 2 of them, they decorate the place, they set things up and get it going, and the 15-year-old goes with Dad to market a lot of times and picks things out and dickers with the men on the different prices and quality of what he's buying for the stand. If he has to bring in, say, maybe a potato or something that we don't have in stock or whatever, and he's been doing quite well, and everybody helps him out. His grandma works over there, and I work over there, and the different brothers to relieve each other for lunchtime and stuff, so it's
And
kind of
who's-
a family affair, but he's in charge.
Who's this here?
This
Where's
here,
Darren?
this is Alex. Alex is 6 and a half, and Alex helps out too. What do you do? Tell Marion what you do.
I
What do you do in the
Come on,
greenhouse?
say it.
You get your wagon and your little plants?
I get my leg and grow plants, and my mom, she puts on the plants sometimes.
And you bring-
And
basically all the boys help out. They all go to high school,
mom.
except for this little guy. Michael's 18 and he's a senior this year, and he does a lot. He's very into sports and very into academics and everything, and he comes home and puts in his time. He helps load the trucks up and get them ready for the drivers to take out first thing in the morning during the spring greenhouse season, and he takes and works that way. And then all summer he works. He does cut flowers. The boys are out there like at 5:36 in the morning getting the cut flowers ready and getting them done. So they all put in a good day in the summertime. It's a full-time job in the summer for them, and they all do this share. Everybody helps out. So it's a family-oriented business, and they're all working towards paying for their college. So they're doing good. I don't think they're all going to stay with the farm. They have different intentions. Michael tends to be maybe wanting to be a lawyer, but whatever. They have their own interests, and those are their own.
And
Joseph.
we can also get into, going back a few years ago, we've had people coming to the farm, which is strictly wholesale, and people wanted to buy merchandise at the farm, and it was kind of difficult to really get into that. And that made us, about a year ago, to get into thinking about opening up a retail operation. So this is our 2nd year with retail. Seasonal retail stand is our 2nd year into it. And last year was very good. It was done for like 3 months. This year was a full season. And it seems as though the people in the town have supported us tremendously, and we've had good rapport on basically everybody coming in, good quality native vegetables. Very good for the town to have a nice fresh fruit market stand on Route 22, and it's been working out very well for us.
This is Joe DeFrancesco, and he's home from college today. Comes home every weekend to work on the flowers. So tell us where you are right now, Joe. And you can get up and walk around if you want.
We're in this, I'd rather stand. We're in
Yeah.
the 2nd greenhouse that we bring everything. This is a holding house. Then we have all our mother plants, as you can see. We start all our hangers, and then we take cuttings. Then we bring them into the 1st greenhouse, and that's where they do all the rooting. This holds actually the most of everything that goes in this whole farm starts off in this greenhouse, or the 1st greenhouse there. Here is our mother plant, the rosemary, sage, margarita daisies. We do trials in this house of old seeds that germinated the regular seeds. You can see they're planting up plants over there, going into the next side, into stages.
So what are you doing?
We're planting patio tomatoes.
These they start planting in the small pots like this right now. Then later on we'll put them into 6-inch pots. That gives it a jump to put them into little pots before you bring them into a real big pot.
So tell us about the greenhouse and the how, you know, the temperature and the humidity and everything.
This greenhouse we try to keep between 60 and 65 during the day. Actually, during the day we try to vent it out so it stays around 60, and then at night it's to 65 degrees. And keep all the hangers up, makes more space. It wasted space up on the top of the greenhouse, so you might as well put something in it if you can. You got the fans to keep the air going in circles, if you see on this, going around in circles in the greenhouse. Then we have the one on the top to blow the hot air down, if you see the top tube. That all keeps the moisture from building up on the plastic and also on the leaves of the plant. Stop fungus from growing and diseases from setting in on the leaves.
So you said this is one of 4 greenhouses that you've got going now in the.
Going right now. Right
And
next
this is first week February.
By the second week we should have another greenhouse going. We'll start all our new guineas and stuff. We try to keep the heat under the bench, so we push the ducks under there because it's better to have the heat on the roots and the roots warm instead of the top. Plus hot air rises, so.
This is an oil.
Away.
This is an oil burner we have.
Oil, hot air.
Yeah. Okay, you're going to tell us something.
This is our #1 greenhouse. This is where we do all our cuttings and seeding. You can tell it's completely different from the first greenhouse. It's low, keeps all the heat down low, and it's small so you can heat it up real quick and easily. This is hot water heat. Goes all around each side of the greenhouse. And we also have heat underneath the benches, so it heats the roots of all the cuttings. We keep all the cuttings on this bench. Either we keep the cuttings under here on the mist system. You can see the mist right from up under here. Or we put them under the shade cloth to keep them moist. Look at this white cloth you see.
Oh.
And there's all different materials we use for cuttings. Either use this dirt you can see in here, or the oasis, like what you get your cut flowers in from the shops.
To us.
This is the sensor for the mist system. What it is like, it's supposed to be like a leaf. And when the water dries off this, or comes off of it, it's on like a balance. It goes up, and it turns on the mist system. And when it gets wet enough, it goes back down, just like a leaf would, and it stops the watering. And once all these leaves dry out again, this will dry out again, it will go back on, and it does that 24 hours a day. So it's not like a timer that it goes on every 5 minutes. It goes on whenever the plants really need the water.
Oh.
And they never dry out, and they're never under stress, so you get a stronger and a quicker cutting. When they start to root, we take them off the mist bed, and we put them up here or on the benches, because we don't have enough room on the mist bed for everything, so we turn it over as quick as we can. You can see, then after they leave this greenhouse, they cool down next door. And it's about 5 degrees cooler than the greenhouse next door. This greenhouse is kept at 70, 75. Next door is kept at 60, 65.
we see the vehicles going off in the foreground there, filled with the pots of topsoil, planting soil, and tomato plants. We saw the pots being filled by machine with the potting soil, and now we're going to watch them plant the tomatoes.
And the other guys just left here.
All right, the plants that we saw your grandsons doing, those are the individual 1 or 2 in the big pots, and then what you're doing are the small flats where people can buy a half a dozen tomato plants and set them out themselves.
Or they buy the whole flat they want, if they want the whole flat.
All of the work of the planting and growing these seeds into these flowering plants has come to fruition. You see that buyers coming to select the plants they want for their retail operations.
That's the one. That's the one I like.
Well, I have this one too.
All right.
They're a little different. 2 of each are good enough, or you want more than 2?
You've got the listen white. I see the.
White and purple.
Give me 2 of these.
Eagle, solid.
Huh? I got this from last night. What a weird.
What? It's all right. People go down to Westport from here.
And at least they know people from Westport like DeFrancesco's plants
Oh,
enough to come
sure.
up here.
There you go. Palmyra
Yeah.
Garden Center in
Our Mary's
Westport.
Garden Center.
And you're from Marion
Yeah,
Garden Center
right.
in Westport.
Right.
And you like DeFrancesco's plants enough to come up here for them.
The best plants around.
This here is our new watering system. Joseph installed it this year. He put it in about half of our greenhouses, not quite. Basically what it does is you turn it on, and some are on timers, and some you have to remember to go back and shut off after a certain amount of time. But because like tomorrow's going to be 80 degrees, when it gets real hot, we water these greenhouses 2-3 times each. So by putting these in, instead of playing games all day, just watering, and sending people back and forth to keep watering over again, put these on and it makes the job a lot easier.
This is bales of potting soil.
Three truckloads we use, and there's 22 skids on the truck, and 30 bales per skid. So figure that out.
Yes, do.
All right, and what they're doing for the high school this year is they're doing project graduation where they're taking and they pre-sold plants that we sell, be it hanging baskets, orange pots of items, regular flats of flowers and stuff, and parents, teachers, everywhere where they either sold them or put the flyers, maybe at a grocery store or whatever, people who wanted them, people bought them. And what they do now is they gave them all a pink coupon, and what they'll do is they'll redeem them at our stand on 22. They'll come in and it'll say right on the coupon exactly what they bought, and they can pick out their own 4-inch pot. It could be anything in a 4-inch pot. That's what they pay for it. They'll pick it out. Any kind of an 8-inch basket or 10-inch basket, they'll pick out what they want. And with the funds that they make on that, the extra funds, that'll go for their project graduation. So at high school, the night to keep the seniors off the street, alcohol-free, they have an all-night party. So that's part of the profit of the money, and they'll use to spend on the high school kids. Just two there.
The mix? I'm gonna run out.
I don't know where the best one will be. There's some nice ones over there.
Some nice ones over there? Okay. We have now come to the retail operation, or the stand on 22. And this is Darren DeFrancesco. Do you want to explain to me again about these flower bags? They're brand new and what?
You can hang them like on a wall near your door or against a tree, on your deck. It's like a hanger. It just flowers and bushes out. It looks nice also.
And you just have to water them from the top and you're all done.
Yeah. Do it.
And if you hang them high enough, the deer can't eat them. Now there's an advantage.
Probably.
Inch 795.
Thank you.
Refrigerated, and then in the middle, on each side.
Actually, the boys are going on 4th generation. Joe's father was the first, and then Joe, and then my husband. And so basically, these guys are the 4th generation farmer.
And so shall we close this segment with looking at 3 generations of DeFrancesco's farming here on Auger Road. Dairy farmers trying to expand their base to make another buck.
They used to have the stand, Shapiro's too. That's-
Yeah, and my folks did too.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the same thing. But you remember there were people like Snows with the
Yeah,
big
yeah.
apple
Oh, the apple
orchards
growers,
and,
yeah.
and
The
the
rest of them.
strawberries
Yeah.
and Doolittles with strawberries. And
Yeah.
of course, Roses, they were dairy farm, and now
Yeah,
look at the
yeah,
fruit
yeah,
operation
yeah,
they've got there. So that there's, but, oh no, I can remember Forest Road when it was just one market
Of course.
farm after
After another.
another.
You were listing them all off there. Would you do that again? All those names you said that used to be
No, along, Forest
Triangle.
Road.
along Forest Road,
You're
yeah.
saying Trianos and, yeah.
The Trianos, there was Capella, there was Rovizzi's, Marcucci's,
Right?
and who else beyond that? Old man Roval used to plant.
Oh, yes, yes,
He used to
but,
plant.
Small.
yeah, small, but
Well, but
then,
it's the race stuff.
And
Yeah.
chickens.
and then coming up Forest Road.
Forest Road used to be, there was vegetable growers come up Forest Road, there was all dairy farmers. They
Yeah.
come up to here.
Yeah,
Right here at
yeah,
DeFrancesco's, and then you went to,
Then on Forest Road was like us,
yeah,
Calabrese next door.
yeah,
There was Della Cameras. There was
Marinuzzi's.
Cerrone, Marinuzzi's. There was Stargi's,
yeah,
Di Sarbos,
yeah. Quebeca,
Rebecca, and then there was Savinelli's.
oh, yes,
It was up in there. There was
See
some
that?
farming. There's Vegevingos. It's be there.
Sanseveros, yeah.
Sanseveros.
That's right.
There's Chigarelli's, Galoni's, Bianchi's.
How many
Yeah.
farmers?
Sure, there's all farmers through here.
sure.
Has to be.
Sure.
Now they all kind of like you would you take Spazzanos. They used to plant a lot of vegetables down there too. But
Yeah.
that's all gone.
And they realized there's only two left, basically. Basically, it's two.
Two more left. There's about all around here.
Yeah.
Just us and Chigarelli.